Over the Garden Wall is one of my favorite Cartoon Network shows of all time. It was created by Patrick Mahay, who you might not recognize the name, but you might recognize his work on Adventure Time and Flapjack. I mentioned Over the Garden Wall in my Cartoon Network retrospective, which I would recommend checking out, but now let's actually talk about the mini-series itself and why I think you should definitely watch it. Now, if you have not watched it, I am going to spoil the show, so I would highly recommend actually checking it out first because I don't want to ruin the show for you, because trust me, this is a show that you do not want to miss out on, no matter how old it is, especially now. Plus, it's a good time to talk about Over the Garden Wall, especially now since it's going to celebrate its 10th anniversary next month with a stop-motion short by Artman Studios. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. So now, let's actually talk about the show itself. When I first saw Over the Garden Wall, I instantly fell in love with the show because of its environments. No matter how dark or bright the environment is around the characters, this is a beautiful show from beginning to end. Also, it's very unique because of its weird but interesting characters in this forgotten world that is very beautiful. That also builds up the story for this show, which is easily the best part of the show itself, while we follow two half-brothers, Wart and Greg, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But for now, I want to talk about the actual plot of this show. My favorite part of the plot is with the Woodsman and the Beast. The Woodsman is always a character that tells both of the half-brothers to be aware of the Beast himself. The Beast is a terrifying villain. He basically captures the souls of anybody and turns them into trees. And the Woodsman's daughter was one of these victims that were turned into trees. And there's this tragedy of him basically forever cursed to chop down every tree of containing souls and turning them into oil just so he can keep his daughter alive. This is important for the half-brothers because it's very important for their character development in the show. When you first watch Over the Garden Wall, you actually think that they are just lost boys and that they actually do live in this forgotten world. But you just think that they're just trying to find their way home because they're lost. But once you get to the 9th episode, you realize that they're actually from our world, just wearing Halloween costumes. So why are they even here in this forgotten world in the first place? Well, that's because of Wart himself, feeling that he is not loved by his peers and that nobody likes him, but that's far from the truth. You realize that Wart just has this feeling that he has to go over the wall to hide himself from his peers and not actually realize that he is appreciated for who he is, especially his love with Sarah and his friends, especially his brother. And once Greg and Wart get lost, they're more lost than they ever were. But once you get to that final episode with Wart realizing that he needs Greg more than ever when the Beast finally catches him, you actually see his character grow with Wart encountering the Beast by overcoming fear and embracing hope of not feeling this kind of person that has this feeling of not being appreciated or loved by his peers and needs to move on and let go of that personality when it comes to dealing with the Beast and overcoming fear. And I think his character arc is done extremely well when it comes to him talking to the Beast and finally being able to save Greg from being turned into a tree. At the end, they finally return home, get sent to the hospital, and you just see Wart actually become a better person in general. Over the Garden Wall is a fantastic show with beautiful animation, interesting characters, a beautiful storyline, amazing music, beautiful environments, just so much to appreciate about this show, especially the voice acting. Everything about this show makes this show perfect in a way. It's very hard to hate Over the Garden Wall. And it's short, it's only 10 episodes. Now, when this show ended, I felt sad, but I was also satisfied, because in a way, it's a show that feels complete. And while yes, you would like to see more of these characters, it basically was meant to tell one story, and I think it told that story extremely well. So yes, please check out Over the Garden Wall, and if you have already, please check it out again. Again, this show is celebrating its 10th anniversary, and I think it's a great time to check it out again. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.